it's something like, you know, I should learn to trust my instincts more. Anyways, Black Panther.
Yep.
I know you thought it was very meh.
You know, I wouldn't say it's bad.
No, but like Marvel's very safe. We know Marvel.
Everybody knows Marvel.
Yeah. One of my friends was incredibly disappointed that I didn't love it. I think because she was like, "Oh, I just feel like it talks about so many of the racial issues," and
does
like,
it though?
I don't think so. I personally think it's a great film. It's a great representation because obviously the main cast is.
But is it? Here's my thing, right? Do people like stereotyping?
I don't know.
Because
probably
because like everybody mentions that stereotyping is really negative, but everything looks tribal in this movie.
I don't know.
And I thought, I mean, I don't care. I mean, they do whatever. You know, it's a superhero movie. It doesn't really matter.
That's what I was thinking too.
It's there to sell toys.
That's what I thought too. I was like, I don't think this film...
Like, they don't... Here's the thing, is like, this is Ryan Coogler's third film that I've seen, and it's his worst.
I don't know what his other
He
films
made
are.
Fruitvale Station, which is also Michael B. Jordan, who's the bad guy in this, who was... What did they call him?
Killmonger?
Killmonger, yeah. So Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger in this. He's a good actor.
Yeah, no, definitely.
He's one of the better parts of the movie. But Fruitvale Station's about a true story about a guy who was shot in the head by a cop on New Year's Eve. And it's well done because it's not necessarily played as though the policeman was like an evil bastard. It's almost like it was a mistake.
Yeah.
Like he just got... And something happened, and because it's basically there was actually like mobile phone footage of the thing in real life, and then it's the retelling of like the last day of his life before he went into the city that night for celebrations. Then he got shot and died. That's a good movie. Second film was Creed. Which I really liked.
Okay.
As a sequel to a Rocky movie. That also does its own thing. It's really great, and it pays respects to the old movie whilst it's sort of a new, kind of a new thing. It's pretty much the same sort of thing that any Rocky movie is. Just like, you know, they have to climb the ladder sort of thing and get better. And it has better action sequences than Black Panther.
That one was alright. I don't really.
Black Panther, right? It's got a one take thing in the casino.
Yeah.
There's a one take thing in Creed, which is way better.
Okay.
And it's like, but it looks like a legitimate boxing match, whereas like Black Panther looked like... I was reminded, and I think many people have said this, and it's really true when you see it. It reminded me of like the first Spider-Man movie. When you watch that and you see them like at the moment where it goes from real person to CGI person is so obvious to me that they looked like they were defying gravity and were like made of rubber, and it looked odd.
Oh, I wasn't. Can I be fair with you? When I was watching the film, I was partially distracted due to some personal issues that day.
I was
to be fair, also, I got off a flight like literally 24 hours beforehand before I went to see the film, so I was a bit distracted. I was a bit exhausted, so I think certain things just went right over my head. There were moments where I'm like, okay, I guess this is like, I'm like, I think I'm enjoying this. I don't really know. It's not like one of those films where you watch it and you like, you forget you're in the cinema and it's like, oh my god, this is so amazing. It's not really one of those. It's like, it's okay.
I felt the length.
Me too.
It felt really long to me because
really
they spent a lot of time just not doing much. Like, I mean, it was all establishing work and it wasn't bad.
There was a lot of just stuff that was going on. And the thing, I was confused because then there was like Crow and then there was Killmonger and...
I love Andy Serkis in his small part. He's really good. Yeah.
Oh, I like the guy. Who was it? What was his name? The ape guy who...
Yeah, I liked him.
He was so funny. He's like, oh...
Yeah.
I thought he was like the freaking star of the show, man. Give him like an Oscar.
Although the sequence where they all made monkey noises at Martin Freeman, I just thought was so odd.
I thought it was kind of funny.
I know, like, it's funny, but once again, everybody's talking about racial issues, and you're like, it's just a weird moment where they're trying to mimic acting like apes, and the word ape has been used as a racial slur to describe black people before. And it's just that, like, I was just watching, this is odd to me. Like, it's just
like,
weird.
Is this racist?
I was like, is the movie actually being racist?
Is this racist? Or is this, like, not racist? Oh, God, I don't know. The thing I have, like, the issue I kind of have is, like, obviously characters like Black Panther and Wonder Woman and Iron Man, or just, you know, there's characters that have apparently a lot of political pull for, like, whatever, like, whether it be for racial rights or gender rights. People are always like, oh my God, there's never been anything like it. And I'm like, well, technically they were a comic book character way before this film.
Black Panther was named after the Black Panther movement in the 60s.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
During the civil, like, what's his name? What's his fucking name? Malcolm X.
So then I'm kind of thinking, I'm like, why is it all of a sudden, why does it have to be in a film for it to be relevant now? Like, it should have always been relevant.
Black Panther was, like, really popular then.
Yeah.
And then I think he just fell out of popularity when it stopped being relevant. Like, because it was like, oh, this is a really cool new thing. And then it was like, okay.
Yeah.
Back to the ones we like. And that's
I
really...
like Black Panther.
No, there's nothing wrong with Black Panther, but
him.
he's not...
He's no Iron Man.
You know what it is? Like, I think that's the whole thing. It's like Captain America at the start of his, like, whole conception is a dull character because he's really overpowered and he just punches people and he's virtually bulletproof and he's got a shield and he's, like, really...
Is that Thor? That's Thor.
That's Thor as well. Like
that's all of them.
That's Captain... Like, Iron Man's got faults because it's, like, the thing that makes him Iron Man is something that nearly killed him.
Yeah.
And then he builds it into a strength.
Yeah.
And, like, Batman is interesting because of his past and then how he, like, pulls himself into this thing of, like, being a vigilante sort of stuff. And also, is he being a hypocrite? All that sort of stuff. Black Panther's just kind of a guy who's... And what I find really funny about it is, like, when they're talking about the racial issues in this film, I'm like, everything that warmonger?
Killmonger.
Killmonger?
Warmonger. Oh, you're thinking War Machine. Killmonger.
No, everything that Killmonger says, right, is so...
Kind of true? Or...
Partially.
Yeah.
So it's like Wakanda shouldn't close itself off.
Yeah.
Right? That's fine. Wakanda isn't responsible for every invasion that's ever happened. You want to say invasion or settlement or anything like that?
Yeah.
In every other
I want to
country.
say, like, Wakanda isn't responsible for every single person of color.
No, exactly, because they're responsible for their own people.
Yeah.
This is the thing as well, right?
Isn't it kind of racist to assume just because someone's dark...
Yeah, they're your responsibility. Like they're exactly like you.
They're exactly like you. Like, because I'm like, that's like people
thing,
saying,
like,
oh, well, you're Japanese and I'm Chinese.
Yeah. You're both
but
Asian,
we're all Asian, so we should all look out for each other. I'm like, oh, that ain't the case, man. I'm pretty sure everyone hates Chinese people. Yeah. Like,
I'm pretty sure
there was a poll online.
Chinese and Japanese people do not get along.
No, we do not.
That's pretty.
Well,
like,
I don't mind, but like,
no, but I mean,
if you go
like
traditionally,
just go back to the 40s.
Yeah, if you go like my grandparents and my partner, so my partner's, I'm Chinese and my partner's Japanese. His grandparents do not like me. They haven't met me, but just because my background is Chinese. They don't like me, and they really. Exactly. I mean, they're gonna say hello to me and stuff, but behind my back, they think that he could probably do better. Yeah. And it has nothing to do with the type of person or how successful or how. It's just my race, and like that's something I think people have to understand about older generations. Is that's just the way they've been. That's just the way they've grown up, and it's. I don't want to say it's not their fault, but it's kind of like we grew up in a society with technology, and then in the future, when people are like technology is bad for you. We're going to be like, well, fuck you. I'm not going to get rid of my iPhone. Yeah. Like, it's just because of the generation that we grew up on.
But here's the thing as well, right? So Black Panther is the good guy who stands in opposition of Killmonger. Killmonger is proposing that they open up Wakanda to pretty much everything. People can move in and out. They share their technology, and then and his main reason for this is because he thinks that because black people in certain countries and certain places have had horrible tragedies happen to them, that they're responsible and they can do something about it, and that they should then therefore take over the world. Pretty much, it's pretty much what he said. And Black Panther stands in opposition to that, and I'm like most people these days when they talk about these issues, they sound like Killmonger. Like, they seem to be on
Yeah.
his side. And it's funny because if you do break down Wakanda, a completely homogenous society that's very high tech, very wealthy, and pretty much walled off, you'd have to call Black Panther the Black Trump, because that's pretty much.
Capitalism.
Oh no, it's not. No, it's isolationism,
Yeah.
which is a little different because you have to trade with outsiders.
That's true.
But they're completely isolated. They're more like Japan.
I was gonna say it reminds me
They're
of
more
Japan.
like Japan,
Yeah.
and Japanese really like Trump. It turns out, and it's like
Really?
all these-
I think Japanese people hate Trump.
no,
No,
They have a
everyone
lot
in
of
Japan
similar-
hates Trump.
See that?
Yes.
People in China like him actually.
People in China like Trump.
Yeah.
That's yeah, that is true. Well, it's because China does so much business with America. I think.
But they should. You would think traditionally they'd be in opposition, seeing that
No,
they're
man.
economically.
My parents love Trump. It's really embarrassing.
No, I think their government doesn't like him. I think the people do
Yeah, Chinese people.
because they would rather have that than what they have, from the sounds of it.
In China?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, well, no, all the wealthy people, because in China there's a huge, I don't want to get too political here, but in China there's a huge divide between
Hong
rich.
Kong and
Oh, no,
mainland.
rich and poor. Like,
that's
wealthy and not.
very much reflected as well in Hong Kong
Yeah.
and mainland.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, everyone who's very wealthy, they're very wealthy, positions of power, pretty much in almost to a point of, like, they can manipulate the law to whatever they want.
It's the same case as Russia. It's pretty much like this is the fallout from like Stalin. They have the fallout from Mao. It's the same sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Well,
It's that.
it is what it is. Anyway, so people who are very wealthy,
Hmm.
like Trump, because obviously Trump himself
He's very well.
is very wealthy, and they think, well, you know, we're all businessmen, we can do business. You're gonna, as a wealthy man, protect our rights, or protect us as also wealthy men. But I also think there's also a lack of education with the lower class. So I think a lot of people who live out in, like, you know, the countryside or without proper care, they don't really they really don't get that much information, and I don't even think they care about Trump too much. I think a lot of it's just like, oh,
I don't
well,
think
we
most
don't
do.
know.
I don't think most do that.
But a lot of, like, the people who are in control of China do like Trump because they're all wealthy and Trump's wealthy, and they just think that they're on the same level. That's just a speculation. I just know for a fact that there is a big divide between
there's
the
a
rich and the
divide.
poor. But, you know, that aside,
But the
Black Panther.
the one I just find, and I don't think it's a problem with this film necessarily. I think it might just be the problem with the setup of Black Panther to begin with. Like, the character is just Wakanda's just kind of weird. It's not that I don't like it or think that it's interesting to look at, and I mean, they didn't do a lot of world building. All they did was repeatedly say it's incredibly advanced.
Yeah, I wish there were a few things I wanted to see emphasized more. There was a lot of, like, in between stuff that is like, look, T'Challa, here's slice. They're all
But
slices.
he's boring.
I mean, he's okay.
He
He's
was pretty dull.
I liked his little
He
sister.
doesn't really emote. No, I liked his sister. He doesn't really do anything.
He's
much.
he's like suave-ish.
You know, it's as well when Hollywood does a movie set in Africa, they will do the same accent.
Because there's only one accent, clearly.
That they know of.
And then, like, freaking Michael Jordan does, like, an American accent, and I'm like,
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael
sorry.
Jordan is the
Basketball.
basketball
Well,
player.
technically, they're all called Michael. Like, not all of them, but both of them are called Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I literally meant both of them are called, but Michael B.
Both
Jordan
of
is
those,
what he's known.
those two guys.
Yeah.
No, like, Michael B. Jordan's good.
I just.
Andy Serkis is good. The sister's really good.
I think the sister's so cool. I want to be exactly like her, even though she's probably younger than me.
What's the?
I think she's like 15 or something in the movie. Shuri? Is that
Yeah,
her name?
I don't think I can remember anybody's name except for T'Challa. And-
Shuri, and then Nakira, and then I'm trying, but it's like my pronunciation. I feel like is really off.
The bit when I laughed the hardest was when the rhinos came out.
I love rhinos.
No, but that was hilarious to me. And you know what was funny as well?
I thought it was weird. I'm like,
So-
how can you control rhinos?
Oh,
technology.
Rocks. The rocks in the mountain. That's how you do it.
No, are you serious?
That's what the whole thing's based
Really?
off, isn't it?
No?
Isn't that what their entire society's powered by, is the stuff that...
The vibranium, yeah.
The vibranium.
But then, like, how can you use vibranium to control rhinoceros?
You just can. It can cure a gunshot in the
I think
spine.
the vibranium... No, I don't think the vibranium does anything. I think the vibranium just powers the technology they have.
Then what did he drink to become Black Panther?
Oh, it was like that plant of life thing.
Which must come from vibranium.
It doesn't
right?
come from vibranium. It just comes from the soil that Wakanda was built on.
Then why is it only in Wakanda?
Because
Why
Wakanda's got
why-
special vibranium soil.
Yeah.
I don't know, Red.
Exactly.
I don't fucking know.
It all comes from the rock.
Yeah, but like that's just
the
the
big
flower.
space rock.
No, that's not what I meant. No, like there's. Oh god, it just. You know what? Whenever I try to explain certain things, I just then realize how ridiculous. Like this giant space rock crashes onto
Yeah,
this
big
place,
space rock crashed in the middle of
and
Africa.
then there's like
and
a flower of life.
then tribes fought over it, and then one was victorious because he drank a thing, and he became the Black
No.
Panther.
I think it wasn't. He drank the thing, and then because he drank the thing, he was stronger than any other man,
Yeah,
and
so
then
he became the first Black Panther and established Wakanda.
yeah. But then I don't. What I don't understand is he drinks the thing right before that they do the fight.
That takes it out of him, so that they're equal. Then he drinks it again when he's confirmed as king. Because doesn't
Oh, really?
Doesn't
I didn't
Forrest
know
Whitaker
that.
say this is to get rid of the?
I don't
power of
know
the
because
king
I
or
thought it was
something?
to give it to him, and then he drinks it again, and I'm like, wait, is it like double Black Panther?
I don't
now?
think it was very well conveyed that that's what they were doing, because the effect is the same, like the visual effects were
Yeah.
exactly the same, and the liquid looked the same, or you didn't see it, or whatever.
Well, I thought it should have been something like,
But what I was actually
maybe like a spirit comes out. I don't fucking know.
what I'm saying about like the stereotyping thing is that they're a very, very advanced society that decide who their leader is by having a punch in a waterfall.
Maybe it's tradition.
Yeah, I know, but that would just cause absolute chaos. Like you'd just have to be really jacked and beat the crap out of the other guy.
Yeah.
You could be a
well,
complete psycho.
Well, because Killmonger.
Yeah, exactly. You could. They like
Flaws.
They show you the flaw in it in the film, and I'm like, hasn't this happened before? Didn't this like stop the progress at some point? Like some nutcase came in and you just had to follow his orders.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
That was weird. I wonder if they've ever had a lady king, queen.
No, because patriarchy. No. I don't know. I just think. I think political. I think stuff like this.
No, I'm just saying it's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I just think because my friend was so like, oh my god, but it speaks so much about what's happening today. But I'm like, how though? Like,
yeah,
I feel
how? It doesn't.
I think the only thing that people are kind of trying to make into like, oh, this is such a good film because it includes people of color.
But that's not.
But like,
the
I'm
first
like,
time either.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's not the. It's like, okay, it's the first because it's Marvel. It's obviously such a big film, and like, it's going to be a popular film. But I'm like, is that really is it really a reason? I don't think it's a reason to watch a film or something just because of certain actors or certain types of people. I think that's incredibly wrong because the film's not just the actors. The film should be built upon the story, the characters themselves, and like the type of what we do as film critics. So when I kind of said to her, because she was kind of like, oh, but it's so recent, and so now I'm like, but how? Like, what's so special about this story?
Recent,
and I'm like, because the story doesn't talk about the suppression of like people of color or anything
I find
like
it
that.
weird. It's like it's set in a completely fictional country that doesn't exist as well.
Yeah, as
like
well.
it's not. It actually disguises itself as a third world country, and everybody just completely buys that as well. And
awkward.
it's like, but that's the whole thing. It's just
what was I gonna? Oh, I've just lost my train of thought.
the end was really weak to me as well.
I don't remember what happened at the end.
We're going to build an outreach center in America.
Oh yeah.
Like, okay.
Cool.
It's like, that's been done by the Americans before.
Yeah.
You just have. I mean, Tony Stark must do that already.
Probably. Something people said was like, oh, well, for the first time, like, or maybe not the first time, but for like this film, the people of color were not put in like a lower position, or the protagonist was like a person of color. But I'm like, there have been a lot of films in the past where people of color were the protagonists. And,
been much better films made about race.
yeah, there have been much, and actual political. There was that film we watched about. What was his name? The guy who did the Peace Walks. Oh my god, I've just gone completely blank. Not Malcolm X, Martin Luther King.
Selma,
yes.
That's a good film.
That is such a good film, and it does talk.
You know what the
about
thing is, though,
political.
is it doesn't. He was actually like right though, as well. His political, actual like his
Agendas.
philosophical and political agenda was right on exactly what it should be. Malcolm X was too violent.
He was very violent. Yes.
Why you have Black Panther, and it was. The thing I liked about that film as well is it was like it depicted him as like a human being as well, not as some sort of super god thing. Because it was like, yeah, it turns out he cheated on his wife and he did a whole bunch of other shit, and it was, you know, behind the scenes there was problems, but he had his heart in the right place and he was doing the right thing. And it was that sort of thing. Yeah, was really interesting.
I loved Selma. I can't believe how long ago I watched it ages ago. I never got to watch it. I think it's one of those films, like, some films I watch once and I'm like, I need a few years before I can watch you again and be okay. So I haven't gone back and one, but that's probably if you did want a film about politics and, you know, discrimination or whatever, like...
That's the thing as well, though. It's like, why is it every time that they do that, they hire a black cast or something like that, it's always about race? Why can't they just make a film?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
That was the thing as well. They were like... It's kind of the reason why I like that they actually made Black Panther, is that he was already a black superhero. Yeah. They didn't take a white one and go, we're going to make him black now. I'm like, well,
it's about race now.
It's about race now. I was like, it was
that's
never
when I was confused.
Like, Spider-Man is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they've made him black and stuff like that before. I don't care, but like, it doesn't matter to me what color he is.
I just want a good film.
Is he a good Spider-Man, or is it the film good? Like,
yeah.
You know, and the only reason that they keep hiring white actors for that is because that's how they were to start with.
Well,
like,
there was this complaint being like, oh, well, Disney whitewashes their characters, like princesses. And I'm like, Elsa's from Norway?
Norway.
Elsa's from fucking Norway. It snows like 300 days of the year there. How can they not be white?
There are also... like barely any black people in Norway in that period.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
Somebody
like,
saying,
it's like you would not see a Native American, like not Native American. You would not see
one of those.
You wouldn't see a Native American in China back when Mulan was on. No, you wouldn't see that shit. Like, I'm sorry, you're all welcome.
Yeah,
but you wouldn't see that because at the time it took like what? Was it even boats back then? I don't even know.
Yes, there were.
There probably was. Oh, well, there were horses, so there were definitely boats. But I'm like, I think, you know, when you do a film, you just do it based on what's appropriate for that setting and that character.
I just go back to what they were.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's what they look like. Let's make it like
honestly, that. If they did another Thor, or if they did Iron Man and then cast Iron Man as a Chinese guy, I'd be like,
it's funny,
yeah, okay.
Actually,
like, I'll be like, okay.
Because Marvel apparently went down this road in their actual comic books, not just
in like their films.
The films.
Yeah, but
they went down this road and sales went down the shit, and they're going back to square one again. Like, so they turned Thor into a girl. Yeah,
I did hear about that. That was weird.
And they had a couple, and they tried to make some of them gay. On top of that, and then
some of them, they're all. You know what? In the internet verse, all of them are a little gay.
I know, but that's not the ones that people pay for.
Yeah,
the ones that people pay for, like, they were starting to do that. So, like, they were pushing all these things in, and I'm like, I don't care again. But if that starts to become the central point of some of the comic books, because it's never been before. It was never the point. It was just
the one thing I said to people all the time, and I say this through across all medias, whether it be television, like, you know, comics, movies, is you shouldn't watch or you shouldn't consume a bit of information purely because of, like, you know, it's a character's gender, or you shouldn't be like, oh, well, this film has a girl and she's a protagonist, so I'm going to watch it and it's going to be good. It's like, that's not how it works.
You're kind of enforcing bigotry then, because you're saying that the most important thing about them is something that apparently isn't important enough to stand in their way.
Yeah. So it's kind of like people, I kind of get annoyed if someone says to me, oh, I'm going to watch Black Panther because I know it's going to be good because it's all like, it's an all coloured like cast. I'm going to be like,
it's like, so what? Black people are better actors than anybody else?
Yeah. I'm like, well, that's not fair because it doesn't matter if they're dark or light or yellow, Asian or whatever.
You're like, yellow?
Yellow?
You can say that.
I can say that because I'm Chinese. No, but I'm like, it shouldn't matter what color they are because
like, here's the thing
their
as well.
skills are not dependent on their race, which is exactly what people who want equality are trying to say. So it's a bit of an oxymoron.
But the whole thing is as well, like, okay, Black Panther, I would definitely object if they tried to make him white because that's kind of the point of his whole character is that it's an African country and all that sort of stuff. Like, if he was a white guy, I'd go, okay, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? And then, like, but, like, people complaining about whitewashing when it comes to, like, Ghost in the Shell, I'm like, that was a business decision.
Yeah.
Like, because people know who Scarlett Johansson is. That's why, and it's like, you look at the anime, I'm like, she could be anything.
But, like, the thing is, like, the whole idea, I think, behind it is that the anime, like, none of the characters look Japanese.
No, they don't.
Like, it's weird. And I
that's
also
actually
think
kind of the point of cyberpunk, is that they're usually set in such
like a
multiracial countries that...
Like San Francisco.
Or Blade Runner's Los Angeles.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
The whole point of them is that everything's so mixed that nobody...
It's all beige now.
No,
like, there's
no, but it's not even that. It's like nobody knows how to talk to each other anymore.
No.
Because everything's so meshed together that society pretty much just doesn't function.
No, yeah.
Because nobody speaks the same language or has the same culture.
Can I just say, Scarlett Johansson is super popular in China and Japan. Like, so popular. And obviously a film based on, like, a manga or anime from Japan, who might also be... I know. But, like, oh my God, actually it was so weird. I was in Japan recently. And I saw this ad for Scarlett Johansson. And... it's weird because here people are like, oh my God, you can't Photoshop. Or like, it's like, if it's Photoshop, it's not realistic. And they're trying to keep it natural. Holy shit. Japan, she looked she looked like a fucking Barbie doll. They had like, you know when like someone's skin is so smooth, it's kind of weird. They
look like unnaturally.
They look like a bit of an alien. Yeah. Like they're just like, everything's just too... That's what she looked like. And she was like, they had like cropped or like, I assume they had... when they filmed this ad, they had filmed it with a lens so that when they put it together, she looked smaller and thinner. And she just looked tiny. She was just walking, and I'm like, that's her, I think that's her face. I almost could not recognize her, because I was like, I think that's Scarlett Johansson. I do not know if it's, I will show you the ad later. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, she's like super popular there. Because, and like certain because I guess there's not a lot of strong celebrities in Japan, so...
They're strong in Japan, and that's the whole thing. The point about, like, Wakanda.
Yeah.
Bet you, like, a celebrity in Wakanda would be big in Wakanda.
Yeah.
The point is, like, Japan has their own industries for this stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't really give a crap about anybody else's opinion.
Yeah.
Which is why watching anime can sometimes be really weird, because you're going, I don't understand what the hell this is, because I just don't have the background.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what, man? You just have to keep watching, and then at one point in your life, you're going to be like, this is just what it is. I'll accept it. Yeah, Ren found down the... Remember those, like, episodes ago where you were like, I'm never going to watch anime? Do you remember? And now you're watching anime.
I will say it's because of one anime.
Yeah.
Basically, it is because of one particular one that I watched other ones.
Yeah.
We might do an episode on anime.
Ooh. Well, I told you need to watch Your Name and A Silent Voice.
Okay.
Watch those and we can do those.
Those too.
Your Name. Oh, and then there's like the new one is like The Witches.
Yeah, I think I've heard of something.
You also need to watch Wolf Children, and we'll get you a list. We'll get you a list. Well, we actually haven't talked about what happens in Black Panther.
Yep.
So.
Not much.
Well, so there's Wakanda, and then there's T'Challa, whose father passed away in Civil War.
Civil War.
And so he's been crowned king.
Yep.
And...
Do you also find the aging kind of jarring?
Yeah, because his dad was like literally young.
It was
and then, like
1993, 92 in Oakland.
Yeah.
And the Black Panther turns up in Oakland to meet
and he looks super young.
Yeah, and both him the uncle and Forrest Whitaker's character are there.
Yeah.
They're really young. They look like they're... Forrest Whitaker's character looks like he's about 16.
Forrest Whitaker.
You know, Forrest is the old guy who does all the ritual stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He looks... His younger version.
Yeah, he looks so young. He
looks about
weird.
16 years old, and then in 20 years he turns into Forrest Whitaker.
The thing that's confusing is that they use different actors for all of those characters, except for Crow, which they use the one actor. So then Crow looks like... Yeah. Crow looks like he's like... Yeah, okay, he's aged. Because for a moment I was like, wait, how many years have passed? Because I'm like, Crow looks like he should be like in his 80s.
It's like more... It's more than 20 years. It's like nearly 30 years.
Yeah, so I'm like...
But it doesn't seem like it should be that drastic. Like I just don't get it. It's weird...
I don't understand why they used different characters for like younger and older versions for certain people, and then for Crow they just used the same actor. That's a bit weird. Anyway, so they want to catch Crow.
They want to catch Crow because, okay, so...
He's like stolen vibranium from them.
He's stolen vibranium from them, which is the special magic rock in Wakanda that makes them find all this cool stuff. And that Tony Stark's father turned into Captain America's shield. And then... Fuck, what happened? So then they go to the British Museum.
No. Killmonger.
Crow and Killmonger go to the British Museum.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I was confused by that setup because he's just standing in the museum. He talks to the lady for a while. Yeah. He starts carrying on. He's obviously put something in her coffee somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
Oh, yeah, sorry, no. His girlfriend did that. His girlfriend did that. She's put something in her coffee. She gets like a stomachache and then falls over. And then... poisoned, I guess. And then... Andy Serkis runs in as part of the paramedic team, and he shoots a bunch of people. He probably has the best line in the film about, then it looks like amateurs, which was fun. Yeah. Because he tells one guy, he goes, I'm going to let you live, you can run. And as he's running, he shoots him in the back. Yeah. And he goes, why'd you do that? He goes, it's good to keep them spread out. It makes it look like it was done by amateurs. I like that. It was... Him and Killmonger seem like the only smart characters in the
movie. Oh my god, no, my favourite line from, with Crow was from... Age of Ultron, where he's like, cuttlefish. Kenji always makes that like he's like, the cuttlefish. They're terrifying.
Andy Serkis is brilliant all the time. But so they steal this
artifact, like which never comes up again, really.
An axe artifact thing, which apparently they'll kind of just keep track of.
Yeah.
They just keep track of it. They're just like, oh, it's in the museum and it's made of vibranium.
But why would they give it to the museum?
Why doesn't anybody know it's made of vibranium?
I don't know.
Because vibranium has actually been discovered by the rest of the world. It's just, it was in such a small amount that they only made Cap's shield out of it.
Yeah.
And it's... So then they take that because they want to sell that. They melt it down, don't they?
I don't know.
And give it to...
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what happens with it.
They melt it down, they go to give it to Martin, Bilbo.
Yeah, but they don't... I don't think they melt it down. They just have it, like, wrapped in newspaper. Okay. Like, chilling by the belt, kind of.
Oh, yeah, because he stores it in his underwear.
I don't know.
No, he actually does. Remember, he unzips his pants and he pulls it out.
Oh.
Andy Serkis' character, and then he gives it to him.
Lovely.
And I thought it was funny because Gollum and... Bilbo were talking in a Marvel movie.
Oh my god! My precious.
So, and then, I do find it funny as well that the leader of a country goes around acting like James Bond in a catsuit.
That's what I'm confused. I'm like, so wait, who's leading the country when you're, being all...
I also thought the
Batman
first
everywhere.
Action sequence of the film was terrible.
What was
that? Was the one, it was like a bunch of like guys with AK-47s. They'd kidnapped Lupita Nyong'o's character. She was in the back of one of the trucks with a bunch of other civilians or whatever, and they're all driving in like a convoy through the jungle. And then Black Panther drops out of the thing and like disables their cars.
I didn't understand that, but I guess he needed Nakira.
He needed her for some reason. And
she was his ex, and then he wanted her for the ceremony for when he was crowned king.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
I almost forgot about that.
But
I wanted to know more about her because some of the characters I don't think were really strongly introduced. So it's just like, well, like literally halfway through the film, it's like, she's your ex. I'm like, oh, I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting for someone to tell me who the fuck it's this lady was.
She's your ex and she's important in the administration somehow?
Yeah, like there's no real rush. She's like, oh, I just have a calling. And I'm like, what is this calling? Is this like a Batman calling?
You know
or
what's
is
funny
this
as
like
well? You know how there's like the Council of Elders?
Yeah.
What do they do? They just sit there looking old, and then the king goes, I'm going to do this. And they go, okay. I object, but we have no power, so you go for it.
The people I wanted to look at was like the guy who like enforced the borders, who with like the shield, and who looked after the rhinoceros.
Yes.
And then the girl with the spear, who was like the warriors.
Can't remember the name of the actress, but she's really good.
She's in Walking Dead.
No.
She's in.
Not.
What is she in?
I can't remember her name. She's a very, very, very.
She's amazing.
Actress.
But I wish there was more with them, because obviously she just like says, "Oh, hello, lover," or something like that, and then I'm like, "Wait, are those guys together? Okay, they're together. Okay,
their
cool."
relationship never came up.
Okay, do you think it pisses me off? Because towards the end of the film, you know how they both charge to each other, and then he's like, "Would you kill me?" And she's like, "For Wakanda, yes, I would." And it's like this huge moment where he like throws down his sword to kind of like submit to her, because he's like, "I love you that much." But I'm like, this moment would have had more impact if I knew how meaningful their relationship really was, because you don't show us their relationship, so how am I supposed to feel emotional about something I don't even know about?
Almost everything is told, not shown in this film, actually.
Oh god, you're right.
Because like it's like Wakanda is a very sophisticated thing.
Here's some beats.
look at our underground train network and and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But he has an Iron Man suit, pretty much.
No, he can fix spinal injuries with the magic rock.
Tony Stark can put a spinal replacement on the back, and War Machine can walk again.
Oh my god, this is just
like it's. I think it's like, God, how do we portray this? We've done everything already.
Yeah. There was those bee things, and then the thing where you put it on the car, and then Shuri can drive. Is she legally allowed to drive yet? Like, that's also something I'm confused about. Is she legally allowed to drive?
Doesn't matter. She was driving in Wakanda technically.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
she was actually driving in South Korea.
That I thought was pretty cool. Like you could put a thing and then you just drive for someone, and then no one can get hurt. Go Shuri.
Yeah. Well, nobody. No, she can't get hurt. Everyone else can get hurt. I did generally like the whole South Korea part. I thought that was probably the best part of the film. Most enjoyable part of the film, because it just felt a bit more. Yeah, I mean, and like one line as well, which kind of made me laugh because it was wrong. Was when what's it, the lady who's like the leader of the guard, the bald one. She's in the car with Lupita Nyong'o's character in there. She gets the spear out and she's talking. She says, I think the line before then, guns so primitive or something like that, and then she throws a spear through the car and it hits the front and like jackknifes the whole thing and smashes it into pieces. And I'm like, if she had guns, this wouldn't have happened.
But I guess the whole idea is that her spears are like, guns are inferior to spears because the spears are vibranium. Yeah.
Once again, they could have shot what's his name before he even got out of the building.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have had a cool car chase.
Exactly. That's the whole contrivance of the whole thing. I'm like,
anyways,
really?
Long story short, in this film, Killmonger is like technically T'Challa's cousin, and then but he's
challenges for the throne so that he can be an asshole
and like unleash weapons into the world, and then T'Challa like comes back
and rule the world.
T'Challa comes back and like kills him. Oh no, yeah, kills him. And then he's like, oh, well, they're like, oh, we can still save you. But he's like, nah, I don't want to be saved, man.
You know what I love? That we've gotten to the stage with sequels and cinematic universes that I saw the trailer for Infinity War before this movie, and Black Panther's in the trailer.
Yeah.
And then they kill him in this film.
Yeah, but I'm like,
and we're supposed to believe that he's dead. And I'm like, I saw him in the trailer before the film. He's not dead.
It's like, it's gone to a point where these films, like, even though they're dead, they're not. Like, like, there's no way.
You know what it is? The Marvel films are just too comfortable.
Yeah.
Nothing's at stake at any moment, and I don't care.
That's the thing. When he was, like, thrown off the river, the waterfall, I was like, oh, maybe he'll... No.
When he gets thrown off the...
Like, I literally... You cannot trick me into thinking that
he's going to die.
Yeah, like
No
it's just
way.
impossible.
It's never going to happen.
Because every time you've tried to, they don't die. So I'm like, the thing is, Marvel, you can only use that trick like once, maybe twice.
And you know what's
You
funny?
can't keep going.
You know what's funny? That, like, Infinity War, people are going to die.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Pretty much. And, like, that's probably going to make, or going to be one of the reasons that it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, we pretty much already know that Vision's going to die. It pretty much happens in the trailer.
Aww.
You see, like, they pretty much, like, put 2 and 2 together of, like, showing you something. I think it's, like, something that Ultron's doing. Ultron?
Ultron?
What's his name? Purple guy?
Thanos.
That's it. He's, like, pushing the stone into his head.
Yeah.
And then he pulls it off. And then, like, maybe he pulls it off and that, like, kills him. And then he's putting it into his glove later. And then punches Iron Man in the face.
Punches just...
Yeah, and, like, you see that, and I'm going, well, you just spoiled.
Well, I think... Isn't Vision a human, though? I swear
No, he's artificial intelligence.
No, but he, like, has a human body.
He can appear human, I think.
No, I don't know. It's weird seeing him...
Because it's like, that's Jarvis.
Yeah.
And because of the Infinity Stone, he can come out, he's pretty much like a walking robot human AI.
Walking human robot AI.
That, and what's Scarlet Witch thought, damn.
He's okay. Actually, I'm like... This is good. I can't believe it.
We already know that you think he's more attractive when he's purple than when he's Paul Bettany.
Purple? He's red? Maroon. He's
purple.
maroon.
He is purple. Maroon.
Vision?
Whatever. Yeah, Vision's like
No, I'm
purple,
pretty sure Vision's maroon.
which is just
It doesn't
more
matter.
reddish purple.
Because when you say purple, I literally think of like...
Ultron.
Like, no, I think of like... Oh, cool, this is cute.
That is something that she ordered like months ago when she was still here, and it didn't arrive until
Ooh,
like...
if this is good, I'm going to get some myself. Sorry, I know I'm going off topic. I just had some makeup brushes. This is what I think about when you say purple. He was not this color.
No,
He was the color of that car. That's red.
That's red. No, he's not red.
Vision?
No, Vision's not red.
I'm 99% sure. Oh, we're going to have to look this up to clear up.
Vision's not red.
He's maroon.
He's not red. He's like a purplish colour. I mean, you know, he's dead boring.
God damn it. Every time I do Vision, it's like a pair of glasses.
But yes, that's But yeah, character deaths don't.
That's red-ish. It's maroon.
That is. It's a very odd look.
I can see where you get purple from, though. There's like...
There's like blue and purple on his clothes, and then it goes into like a purpley maroony like thing.
Yeah, well, here he looks purple.
Yeah. It just depends on what picture you see, really.
Yeah, he kind of cute. I don't know why. I'm like kind of into it.
Yeah, you're weird.
Sorry. You watch Berserk, so...
Nothing weird about that.
It's kind of weird at the
It's
end.
a bit fucked up.
It's kind of weird
That's
at the
not
end.
even the end of the story.
I know, but it's kind of weird. Oh, this keeps moving. What's wrong with me? Okay. What happened? So Vision's gonna die. I just can't wait for Iron Man to die, and then Captain America can die, so Bucky can become Captain America.
Yep. So Bucky can be Iron Man. Hopefully they'll kill off like War Machine and a couple of
Oh,
other
but after
just
his
side
back injury?
characters. Yeah, get rid of him. He's pointless.
He's kind of boring.
He doesn't do anything.
He only has one suit, man. What the fuck? Do you think ScarJo will... I don't want them to kill Clint because he has a family.
I don't think they'll kill them. I think they'll just leave somehow. I just feel like most of them... Like, the ones that are going to stay on are like the Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, Thor.
Thor? Why Thor?
I think Hemsworth's already said something about renegotiating his contract.
I mean, Hemsworth, I love you, but why? Loki?
Probably.
I think they'll
He'll
kill
probably
Loki.
still be there. I don't know.
No.
Unless he finally gets killed by Thanos or something.
I was going to say, I think Thanos is going to kill him.
Because yet again, like, he's going to go, I'll side with him. It's like, yeah, that always goes so well for you, you idiot.
Yeah.
That's actually getting annoying now.
I know. Let's not talk about it. I used to really like Loki as a character. because I think he was so like, interesting.
I just thought he was fun. I thought he was like a fun character, especially in the Avengers, the first one. He was a fun villain to have for that.
Yeah.
Just kind of goofy and a bit like really full of himself, but has absolutely no reason to be because he's a bit of an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like I like that, but I also have this feeling I haven't seen the first Avengers film in a long time, and I hold it in pretty high regard. But I have a feeling if I watched it again, I wouldn't like it as much.
I'd probably watch it and I'm like, oh, wow, we've come such a long way.
Okay.
Not necessarily in the upwards direction, maybe in...
It's just, I'm tired of this now, so this is just...
like, if I could just, like, map out my feelings about Marvel, it's been like... like, that's how it would be. Because it's people always like, oh, they're so good. And I'm like, I don't know if it's because...
But I said, like, they're so good, and I'm like, how many films have you seen?
Yeah, it's just like this, it's like, chocolate's great, but having chocolate for every meal is a lot, and it just gets so boring and so repetitive. So when
when you've had much better chocolate,
like ice cream, ice cream or chocolate.
I'm just talking about quality here.
I know, but I just don't know if you like ice cream or chocolate more.
I probably prefer ice cream. Yeah. Chocolate I get tired of after like the first bite. I'm like, no, thank you.
Fair enough.
It's like even like, as much as I like Game of Thrones, I'm happy it's ending.
Yeah. Everything must come to an end. Like, Marvel, you started off really... I just think, like, Marvel would have probably been better off limiting the amount of films so that the ones that they did put out had better...
Though.
Yeah,
they're just going to keep going because it makes money, and that's the point.
Well, yeah, but, like, looking from a film's perspective, if they had just put out the really good and the really good ones, then they would have had more impact when we did watch them.
I was like, how do you like go on like the really good ones?
Well, like the Civil War and the Winter Soldier. Maybe not Civil War, but Winter Soldier definitely was a really good one.
I'm saying, like, I don't know whether they knew they were good before.
I know, but I think just when you have so many of the same thing,
because like I classify Winter Soldier as like the Dark Knight of the Marvel films, because I think it's up there. Like, it sort of went a bit beyond just a Marvel film, and it interested me a lot more than that. And same with probably the two Guardians of the Galaxy movies. They transcend Marvel for me a bit. Yeah, but
I think they didn't really need Black Panther.
Like Iron Man 3, I consider a good Marvel film. I don't think it's good outside of Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of, I think it's good.
I think I was gonna say I don't think they needed Black Panther. I don't think they needed. I mean, I didn't mind Ant-Man. I don't know if they needed it. I don't think they needed Iron Man 2.
Ant-Man's like the standard Marvel movie.
Yeah, I don't think they needed any of those really just like,
they have Ant-Man and the Wasp movie.
Yeah. What was the other one? The film that I thought was exactly like Captain America. Wasn't Wonder Woman? Was it?
Similar. Wonder Woman was very similar.
What was the other ones? What was the other new films that came out? This is the problem. I can't even remember all of them.
It's not even. They're not that good. They're just there.
Ant-Man.
Was it a Marvel movie?
It was a Marvel movie, I'm pretty sure. Oh, fuck. Like, whatever. You know what I mean? Just
doesn't even matter.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like, it just... All of them are just one big, massive blob of...
stuff happening.
Yeah, it's like...
It's actually become like a comic book, like a long-running comic book series where you're like, okay... Guess they're gonna start
it's like when
it's
like when I started watching Bleach and like the first two seasons, it's like, oh, this is so good, and then it gets into all the filler crap, and I'm like,
I was actually like, because I have no interest in watching Bleach purely because it gets so shit. Apparently, like,
oh my god, you have no idea.
Because I was like reading and watching stuff about it, talking about like
it is very good. It just gets so shit. Why?
I know the guy who wrote that got very pissed off with the publishers that
Don't deny it.
Because he
yeah, so what happened was like
he was only interested in short-term storytelling, and because I think it's published in Shonen Jump, which is like where Dragon Ball Z and One Piece and all that come from. They're just like, no, you have to keep going. Yeah, it has to be long term. Come on, what are you doing? And it's like, I don't want to do this. Yeah. So I'm just gonna make it shit.
Yeah.
Apparently he just does the same thing every time.
Yeah.
Which is why I
just watch the first 3 seasons and then you can just never bother with it ever again.
It's like, like One thing that sounds fantastic, but I'll probably never bother with it, is One Piece. Because I'm like, I look at it and I'm like...
so many.
I know, that's the whole thing. I'm like, I'm sure it's great.
It is very good, it is.
That is just too much.
The thing is, it's like the concept is so simple. They're looking for...
The
One Piece. But it takes them over 500 episodes to look for this fucking One Piece.
They still haven't found it. But it's not the point. It's like, at least with that, the reason why it's been on top for ages is because it's still good.
Yeah.
It's still considered to be very good. The characters are still very strong. I won't do it because I'd have to catch up. And it's been
You'd be
going
surprised,
for like
though.
30 years.
You'd be surprised at how fast you can just catch up. Like, I don't want to say this out loud.
Why?
So, you know, Avatar Last Airbender, and then there's a sequel called, like, Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
So, I kept putting off watching it because with me, like, when I want to watch something, I always, like, kind of sit down, I want to settle down for it and watch it. And I remember it was, like, in school, and I'm like, oh, like, I'm never going to get a chance to watch it because I'm just realized I'm away from the mic. But I'm like, because I'm, you know, so I'm studying and I'm working. And so one night, there was 3 seasons. And one night, I was like, you know what? Around 7 p.m., I'm going to watch the whole first season tonight. And it's like 20 minutes an episode. I think there were like, I want to say at least 15 episodes. So we're looking at 5 hours, if not more. I think there were more. There was like 5 to 6 hours. This was like 7, 8 p.m. at night. And I'm like, I'm going to watch the whole season. So what did I do? I watched the whole fucking season.
Was it any good?
It's not as good as the original. Sorry.
I love that you go 5-hour binge watch something and it just wasn't as good as this.
Yeah, it just wasn't as good. Sorry. But I did it, and I do it all the time. Like, I'll literally decide at like 11 p.m. at night that I want to watch a series, and I'll watch until like 3, 4 a.m. And then Kenji will like wake up and find me, and he's like, "You need to go to bed." And I'm like, "Just one more episode." Like, it won't even be any good. But the thing with anime, I think a lot of the times what they do is at the very end of the episode, they do like a Walking Dead, and they just like put it on a cliff. It's always a cliff. You've seen Shokugeki Food Wars, where at the end of episode, it's literally always a cliffhanger.
That's why I was like, can I challenge you this time? And you're like, fuck.
It's like,
now I've got to watch the next
yeah,
one.
that was me. Like, I was like watching it, and I was like, this is the last episode. And at the end, it's like, who will be the winner? I'm like, fuck me, just tell me who the winner is now. I don't want to watch the next episode because then I have to commit. You can't just watch half an episode. You have to watch the whole fucking thing. And it's like, oh, God,
Because they're only like 25 minutes long.
I know.
It's
They're
like,
like
it's not hard to talk yourself into watching another one.
I watched all of Futurama in 2 days.
Jesus Christ.
I know. No, not just like the first, like, you know, the 4 seasons and then it was cancelled for a bit. Like the whole entire thing.
Oh,
like all like 1 to I think season 9. 2 days. I only slept like 3 hours.
I think I finished 97 Berserk in like 2 days. And that's 25 episodes.
That's not that bad. I can finish that in a day. Please.
You know, it's funny that version of the anime is the perfect thing to get you interested in either reading it or watching more because of where it ends.
Yeah, I know. Or you can just Google it.
I know you can just Google it, but it's like...
That's what I did.
Because you end up wanting to go really in-depth in some way.
Yeah.
Because it's so tragic.
We'll talk about this in an anime
talk about
specific.
Those, yeah.
An anime manga specific
episode.
Dude, freaking end of Berserk. I'm really sorry. I know it's like fucked up, but
yeah, it is. It's really fun. I was watching it going, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see any of this coming.
I was watching like episodes like that or shows like that when they end so abruptly. I always think, because at that point I'll be like, wait, how much longer is there left in this show? And they'll be like, no, wait, they're not ending it here. Oh my god, they're ending it here. What the fuck? No, they can't end it here. What? And then I'll just get like really angry because at that moment when that really effed up thing is happening, especially when it's more towards the end of the episode, you're thinking, no way, don't end it here. Why are you doing this? Stop it. Stop.
It's a very ballsy way to end something.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Like as far as that goes, I won't watch the 2016 one anymore because I tried.
Is it painful?
I tried and it was, it's like you take something that looks so good on paper and on the previous versions, and then you make the worst possible version of it that you can.
Do you know I feel the same way about Sailor Moon, the new one. I know you don't really like Sailor Moon.
It's not that I don't like it, I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, well, it's based for girls.
Yeah.
The original OG, and I'm not sure if you've seen the original, like, manga artist, the type of style is really beautiful. Like, I can show you. It's the way it's drawn, it's very elegant and all that. And then I really love the original anime as well. So the one from, I think, from like 1995. It's around that time period. It's just like back in the day, it was like the OG female superhero for girls. It was what I grew up on, and it's like what a lot of people here grew up on too, because it was played on, like, Saturday morning TV. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So then I watched the new one, and the OG one was all hand drawn. You can tell it's hand drawn. The new one is all computer generated, but it looks fucking weird. Like, all of them look super skinny and like super like it's just.
But do you mean like CG 3D models?
No. But I'll show you if you want.
So the new Berserk is all CG 3D models. It's the ugliest fucking thing you've ever seen in your life. The thing about the 97 version of it is that they obviously were on a budget, because you can see that it's not an anime that moves a lot. There's a lot of still imagery, or there's lots of, like, obviously cut corners, but it never feels like it takes away from anything.
Like, do not say this is the weirdest thing ever.
Well,
It's a bit much, right? And then I'm not sure if you've seen the original.
I've seen the original. I know what the original looks like.
Yeah.
It's a bit more simple, but it's
a bit more like,
nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing. This is a bit more like anime style I like, and so to see that, and I'm like, I was kind of expecting, like, if you look at more modern anime, they're obviously a bit more shiny around the edges, and that was fine. But I was like, that's a bit overkill. Yeah. Like, that's a bit.
They kind of redesigned her.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I started watching Car Captors. There was a new series that was released. So the original Car Captor series was like ages ago.
Yeah.
Really good. And I was watching it and I was really scared, because I was like, if this is like completely different, or if it's completely fucked up, I'm going to be really heartbroken. But it was really good, because apparently they got all the original voice actors and they used the original soundtrack as well. And so the only thing they really fine-tuned was like the artistic thing and all that. But they didn't really change any of the character designs. They just made it look a bit nicer. So it all looked really nice. And I was like sitting there, like, I was about to cry, because I was like, it's fine. It's fine. I can watch this. I can accept this. Because I started watching Sailor Moon, Crystal, and I was just like, I can't. I can't. I still, to this day, have no idea how that series ends. It's been ended for like, what, 2, 3, 4 years? And I'm like, I cannot watch this. Anyways, we will talk about anime at a later date. Well, how long have we been recording for?
About an hour.
Okay. Shall we end it here?
We shall.
Yeah. So, final thoughts
our
on...
verdict on Black Panther is see it if you want.
Yeah. I'd say you should watch it. It's quite nice to watch, kind of, if you're, like,
fine.
Distracted like me. I think
you just want to switch your brain off for a couple of hours.
If you want a film that is, like, I don't want to say predictable, but it's, like,
it's pretty
safe.
predictable.
It's very safe. It's like, if you want to watch, like, a Disney film, you can watch this film as well. They're all on the same level.
They're all made by Disney. It's fine.
Oh, God.
They're all everything. Star Wars, everything is owned by that one company.
Wow, you seem so happy.
They want your money, and they're going to get it somehow. They'll ruin anything to get it.
Oh, my God.
They'll ruin anything that you
Imagine if we watched Infinity Wars, and then they did a Twilight, and it was like, by the way, no one actually died because it was all a dream. Yeah. Imagine if they did it. I would literally walk out. I'd be like, no. no.
You're like, haha, fuck you.
Anyways.
I know they kind of do that in the cartoon version. Not really. They kind of do it, but because they manipulate his powers with his glove in different ways. Like, stuff like he turns forward time, and that only makes Thor powerful, but it kills everybody else. So he turns it back again, because he can't handle Thor like that. Stuff like I can't. It's kind of clever, but it's a cartoon one as well, so it's very simple.
Yeah,
I hope they go further with it, like do something interesting in the film. But I don't know. It's
okay. So for the next episode,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's there's Detective Chinatown too.
Movies coming out, and we might see them.
We could watch Red Sparrow. I knew we were originally going to do Red Sparrow today, but we actually decided to do Black Panther.
Sparrow.
There's I, Tonya.
That's kind of too old
Yeah.
to even bother with.
Ladybird.
That's also kind of old.
Oh, God damn it. I'm sorry I was right. Love, Simon.
That looks terrible.
Yeah, I
I saw
know.
a trailer for that and I was
Yeah,
like,
I
that
know.
just looks like shit.
Maze Runner.
No. That's really old. And I'd rather kill myself.
Actually, I probably need to watch that because I watched the first two.
That's good for you. You go do that.
Pacific Rim.
Uprising. It's probably going to be better than the first one because there's actors in it who can act.
Sorry, my phone keeps buzzing. Oh no, Sherlock Gnomes.
Oh, fuck off.
Hey, I love Romeo and Juliet. It was so funny.
That's your problem.
It was so funny. It was so stupid. I loved it. Certain stupid films I love. I'm just like, oh, these are so bad, but they're so good. Oh my God, Monkey King 3?
Oh,
It's a Chinese film, sorry. That's just what I want to watch.
I know about
I love Monkey
that
King.
whole thing.
Hey, I grew up on Monkey King. That sounded wrong.
Did it?
Shh, stop it.
Sounds like a cereal brand. I grew up on Monkey King.
Imagine. Anyways, well, we'll figure out.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, if there's no real good films, then we'll actually do an episode about anime and
which means I've got a lot of watching to do in the next 2 weeks.
So do I. Anyways, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Cool.